Good morning. This is Mr. Behringer again, and today we'll be doing systems of equations, and it's our example of vehicle and passenger problems from our project. Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Meeks decided to take their students to see a Charlotte Hornets basketball game. Mr. Kennedy will need 4 taxis and 5 vans to transport 107 students. Mr. Meeks will need 7 taxis and 5 vans to transport 131 students. How many students can fit in each taxi and how many students can fit in each van? The first thing we need to do in this problem is we need a let statement. Our let statement is what tells us what our variables will represent. So we're going to let X represent taxis, and we're going to let Y represent vans. Alright. Now we do know that Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Meeks both chose to use taxis and vans. So those will be our 2 variables. And we know that there were 4 taxis for Mr. Kennedy, so that will be 4x, because we don't know how many students were in that van, that taxi. And we have 5 vans, which is 5y, but we know putting those together, we will have 107 students. For Mr. Meeks, he used 7 taxis, so that's 7x, and 5 vans, 5y, and he transported 131 students. So our 2 systems we have 4x plus 5y equals 107, and 7x plus 5y equals 131. Now, in a system of equations, you've learned that we have to have matching coefficients for either the x variable or the y variable. In this case, we have matching coefficients for our vans, which is 5 and 5. Now, in order to zero out one of the variables, they have to be opposite some kind of way, or we would have to subtract the 2 equations. And in this case, in order for the y's to cancel out, we would have to subtract this entire equation. Now that subtraction has to be given to each and every one of the bottom monomials. So 4 minus 7 will give me a negative 3x. 5y minus 5y, this would cancel out, or this would give me my 0 for my y variable, is equal to 107 minus 131 will give me a negative 24. Okay. To finish solving for x, we will divide by negative 3, and x is equal to 8, and this 8 will represent the number of students that were in the taxis. So this was 8 students. Per taxi. Okay. In order to figure out how many students were represented or put in the van, we'll take this 8 and we're going to substitute it in to one of our equations. So 4 times 8 plus 5y equals 107. Okay. 32 plus 5y equals 107. Subtract 32 from both sides, and we have 5y is equal to 75. Divide by 5, and y is equal to 15. And the 15 will represent the students per van. So the question it asks is how many students can fit in a taxi and how many students can fit in a van. So So the two questions we would be answering would be 8 students fit in the taxi, and 15 students fit in each thing. There with our solution to our system of equation vehicle passenger problem.